America is the frog in an ever increasingly hot pot of water on the stove. And Trump came in and said, I'm going to get you out of the water. And now everybody's watching his hand on that switch. He's supposed to turn that water down. He knows the switch is there. We know the switch is there because we're boiling. And all of a sudden, it's like he forgot.
Your polling has shown consistently through and through. People want everyone deported. They want the illegals out of this country. It's why they voted for President Trump. To pull back on that, I think you put it perfectly, is a George W. Bush, H.W. Bush, no new tax moment, along the lines of that.
Yeah.
You lie to the voters once, Mark. It's like us on these podcasts. You piss off the people once and they probably don't come back again. It's like going to a restaurant and you have a bad meal. You probably don't ever go back again. You pissed off the voters on issues like that. I just don't see how you make it back. And I don't get, what is it all for? What is it all for?
Well, I don't know. I think about it this way. Is that people have said, Teflon Don, he's been loved by a lot of people for a long time. They've thrown everything at him. He still has his followers. They stick with him. And I think it's true to say that, people don't have to 100% agree with everything Donald Trump does, right? Like, he took the vaccines and everybody's like, what are you doing? And he was getting booed, and they're still there. They're still there. But this is the first time where I would use the B word, which is betrayal. People really, really pulled this one. I mean, they made it too big to rig, essentially. A lot of people worked. A lot of people committed for 10 years for this MAGA movement. And it was a big tent, but Donald Trump didn't build it alone. People came to those rallies. People put in the work to turn out the vote. People did all kinds of work on social media for years. Thousands of hours some of these people spent posting memes and spreading.
Yeah.
And now he betrays them on a core tenet of what MAGA is, because he's talking to business people, because I think it'll become very clear in retrospect that he isn't the man that people needed him to be for this particular presidency. And he could be. That's the problem. And that's a betrayal. And I don't know where this goes. I really don't. Maybe they stick with him and his numbers stay fine. His numbers are fine. -7 is not that bad. But it's generic ballot Democrat +6 right now. And so the Republicans are going to bear all of this splash damage, essentially. I mean, it's going to become unwinnable. And then his entire legislative agenda is dead. He's going to be overwhelmed with investigations, and people are going to look back and say, well, you had a 2-year window. You didn't pass anything. You didn't arrest anybody. You didn't reform any of the government. And those were all things that you've been saying for 10 years that you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's starting to look really bad. It could get, again, his numbers aren't bad right now, but history says that people really got mad at George W. Bush at the end. Those numbers can turn really fast.
Scary stuff. Let's before we wrap up, let's talk about the possibility of the Democrats taking back the House in the midterms. What do your numbers show, and what's the chances of? I mean, I think it's probably 100% impeachment, whether it's him or his cabinet members,
Yeah.
and I think it's probably all of the above. There goes my black pilling again. I can't help myself. But what's the inevitability of it?
Well, I think the first sign to look at, and again, the impeachment polling was about where Biden's was, but obviously Trump has objectively not done any impeachable offenses, in my opinion, right? And Biden clearly did. But that doesn't matter. And anyways, I don't think impeachment will really affect his numbers, because the conviction actually made it go up. So maybe it'll be a rallying point. I don't think it's enough to get people to turn out, though. You know what I mean? I just don't. It's if we get to November and there hasn't been some economic breakthrough, or we haven't seen any major arrests, or there's no really good legislation passed, I just don't feel the polling, again, might be okay, but with a Democrat +6, it looks like a certain Democrat House pickup. And I don't think any of this stuff that's going on with the gerrymandering maps is really going to help the Republicans. I think they're going to come out on the low side of this. But the trend we've been seeing is that in all of these off-cycle special elections, that the Republicans have been underperforming the polling. And so what that means is that people haven't really changed their mind. They just aren't turning out to vote because they don't have the momentum, because they're demoralized. And I think that that's true, because I get a lot of DMs from demoralized people that match what I think the polling says. And so if that's the case, then that means the Democrats are going to do better than D+6 where it's at right now. That's the worst House national popular vote we've had in our polling for years. Certainly since 21. I mean, it's just bad. like I think only 2018 was worse, right? So now what can happen between now and November? And I laid out a plan for how you could show that Republicans can govern. I think that that's the only way to win. And this is winnable, is that convince America that there is a path of good governance through the Republican Party that can save America. And we do not have that. They don't even know what that looks like. It's impossible. That's all they have to do. It's not that hard. It's just a leadership solution. It involves message discipline, a little bit of road mapping, some strategy. It's staying on target, discipline. Trump is not disciplined. And so the only other thing I could say is, maybe Dan Bongino is going to pull it out for us. The only other thing I can say is that Trump better disclose aliens, or we better get in World War III, or he better literally delegitimize all of our elections, because that's the only path to success. And the thing is that even there, that might happen. The DOJ could be taking depositions from Nicolas Maduro as we speak. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? What's your take on that? Have you heard anything about the raid on the Georgia election warehouse down there? I mean, are we going to finally start to see? Now, I mean, I don't put this on President Trump, right? I put it on his team that I guess he put in place. Like, what's taken them now a year to do the first raid on this should have been day one. They should have been banging in doors. You gave these people a year. I mean, they really had 5 years to destroy everything they needed to destroy for the evidence to be gone. I find it highly unlikely that there's any evidence left, unless these people were the worst crooks ever, which is totally possible because they are Democrats. What's taking so long?
Well, I mean, I have my guesses, but first off, I think a couple of things we have to acknowledge about election integrity. I think it's way worse than anybody thinks it is. I think it implicates Republicans. I think it implicates judges. I think it implicates a lot of people, and that we have massive election integrity problems distributed. This isn't like one mustache twirling villain that's just stealing all of our elections, but I also think that exists. I think that there are some obvious, very easy things that we could do to determine the level of illegal, election interference. Like, one of them is just looking at all the voting rolls and doing some investigations as far as how people are registered. Another is like, okay, who paid for those postal trucks that were carrying the fake ballots? Like, our postmaster general could literally just solve this for us right now. Didn't even need to raid Georgia. And I'm it's miraculous we got that done after years and years of the entire system resisting us. But when you really, really look and understand the story in the book Stolen Elections by Ralph Pizzullo, it's a very deep, black, dark rabbit hole of implications. The implications here is that through Cuba and Venezuela, Venezuela founded, I don't have to tell you all this, but it involves stealing elections in multiple states electronically, with the CIA and the FBI allegedly involved, with people who tried to get the investigation surfaced, shut down at multiple layers by multiple federal agencies. And only very recently, due to a hilarious combination of coincidences, were they able to actually break through and get this looked at. And now all signs point to the fact that the things that you would expect to see for this case to face justice are happening. There was the sale of Dominion. There was the snatching of Maduro. There was what happened allegedly in Serbia that Elon Musk, was involved in. And so this is all what you'd expect to see. And it all just comes down to, does our system have the resolve to do this?
Yeah.
And is it what we thought it was? And I think the answer to all that is yes, which scares me, because then it means just our elections are completely corrupt, and we get delegitimized in a way that will probably accelerate further social strife, because the Democrats aren't just going to roll over and be like, oh, look, the Republicans say that all of our elections are stolen. Again, I don't think we're going anywhere happy here. I think we're on a very dark path, no matter which way it goes down.
Well, I think you're right. And it's a very depressing way to start out the week. And we've probably pissed off a lot of people. But I say this all the time. The show is not to make people happy. It's not to feed people's egos or make them feel good. It's to give people the reality of things that you're not going to get when you turn on Fox News and listen to Sean Hannity talking to Lindsey Graham, talking about, how great everything is, or, turning on the mainstream media to find out everyone's just kissing and making up and everyone's doing this. So, you know, like I said, before we wrap, I want to roll a video for you because I'm not sure if you saw it. It's a man who has allegedly been very compromised by blackmail. One of your favorites.
Hey, Lindsay, why don't you just admit that you're gay and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
I don't know if you saw that, but that's the good old Lindsey Graham, the man who wants war with everybody.
Ladybug Graham. Oh, man. That guy, you know, like Trump loves him. I just don't get it. Like, we are not being governed by the same people that you think we are. Like, I don't want to doom. I don't want to be a black pillar. I don't want to make people demoralized. But, like, tell me where I'm wrong here. America is the frog in an ever increasingly hot pot of water on the stove. And Trump won, just said, yo, guys, the frog's in the water. And then Biden turned the temperature up. And all the frogs are like, wait a minute, we're in a pot of water and the temperature's going up. This is bad. We all see it. And Trump came in and said, I'm going to turn the knob down. I'm going to get you out of the water. That's what Trump said. I'm going to get you out of the water. And now everybody's watching his hand on that switch. He's supposed to turn that water down. He knows the switch is there. We know the switch is there because we're boiling. And all of a sudden, it's like he forgot. It's like, yo, turn. Am I wrong here? It's like he's not helping us out. His hands on the stove switch. Are we getting it out of the impending crisis? And the answer, I think, right now is that he's worried about renovating the Kennedy Center.